ERC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
You've clicked on the Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, September the 28th. I'm ABC 3340 meteorologist Brian Peters with you, and let's get to some sky cams. Not much traffic at this insane hour of just after 5 a.m. or just before 6 a.m. On Inverness at Skycam looking down 280, and the lights of Gadsden looking kind of bright before the sun rises this morning. The little low that we've been watching off to our northeast is kind of tapped into Kyle, and they're both headed off to the northeast, northeast actually. And the upper air reflection is still there. We've still got a little bit of a trough, as we can see in the water vapor imagery at 500 millibars. But the big news for us is that low you see up over central Canada. That's what's going to be giving us some cooler weather come the middle of this week. Now, temperatures this morning across the United States are not bad. We see a good deal of 60s along the East Coast. A lot of that under clouds as a result of that little upper low and Kyle. Across central Alabama, we are a tad warmer this morning than we have been for the last several days, and certainly represented here by that 68, pardon me, that 68 in Birmingham. And we do have a little patch of clouds in the east central part of the state, but I think most of that will be getting out of here. Now, as for the tropics, of course, we're watching Kyle, and no mention now of the one in the central Atlantic, and we're still watching some cloudiness in over the Yucatan area, the western Caribbean. Here's the track of Kyle, and certainly headed up there. We've got hurricane warning, and Kyle became a hurricane yesterday. Probably as it moves over the cool water today, it's going to drop back to a tropical storm status, and then looks like by Monday it'll become extra tropical, and a hurricane warning is in effect for a portion of the coast of Maine. We're also watching the cloudiness in the Caribbean, but it looks like that is going to only affect probably South Florida. QPF pretty well tells it. We've got the rain from Kyle up in Maine. And again, those people have got on the order of 9 to 12 inches above normal, so they don't need any additional rain, but it looks like they're going to get up to about 5 inches. And across South Florida, between 4 and 5 inches possible with that a little bit of tropical moisture coming that way. And of course for us, zip, nada, nothing. And it looks like we might stay dry for as much as another 10 days to 2 weeks. All right, let's take a look at the 06Z GFS model run, and here is the forecast map, surface map for today at 1 o'clock, and we can see Kyle headed past Cape Cod and headed for the coast of Maine and Nova Scotia. By tomorrow, that low I mentioned at 500 millibars begins to drop into the United States, and that is going to be reinforcing the northwesterly flow across our area. And by Tuesday, that has really dropped in, the upper low just to the southeast of Chicago. And with that, there's going to be a front. Now, here's the question. It looks like we will have some instability. That is, lapse rates are going to be good enough for some showers, but will there be any moisture for this front to act on? And right now, I think it looks like we'll be dry, but we will see some cooler air and drier air on Wednesday. By Wednesday at midday, that upper low has definitely dropped in there. We've got a really nice trough over the eastern half of the country. And we can't really find the front exactly, but the front has moved through here, and it looks like probably as that trough maintains itself on Thursday, it looks like Thursday could be our coolest morning yet as we look at the surface map there. And you see the thicknesses, the 552 line running down just to the south of Nashville. By Friday, of course, our interest will turn to the races at Talladega, and the trough maintains itself, and it's still even there on Saturday. But that ridge off to the west is beginning to develop, and I think we'll see a surface high pressure over the area on Saturday, so it looks like any of the races that are going on Saturday should be fine, and the high maintains itself centered over the Ohio River Valley and the Tennessee River Valleys, and the result is it looks like this next weekend should be dry. And there is a look at Monday. It looks like we'll start the following week, a week from tomorrow, will also be dry. All right, let's go out into Voodoo Land, and it looks like another trough sets up around the 8th or 9th of October. And then we see that that also could be dry, as we do have some more moisture on the East Coast, but it looks like very little moisture over the southeastern U.S. And then another trough, so a series of troughs, on the 12th that develops, and this one looks like it could tap into some moisture. And also, it looks like the 540 line coming down into southern Illinois, not quite as far as it was coming yesterday, but certainly it looks like some of the coolest air that we've seen so far this season. Well, we appreciate you tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video. I'll be filling in for Jason tomorrow morning, so be sure to catch Good Morning Alabama for the latest in your forecast and your weather information. James will be back with the next Weather Xtreme video tomorrow morning, bright and early. In the meantime, Godspeed.